Welcome to Acquire with Ashok. Today's topic is a simple one, but something I consider very close to my heart. Marketing is not sales. And yet, in many companies, these two are treated like they're twins. They're not twins, they're not cousins. Frankly, in some companies, they're not even on speaking terms. One is supposed to create interest, and the other is supposed to convert that interest into money. But in many organizations, someone in management just waves their hand and says, no need lah, same thing. And that's where it all goes downhill. It's like saying cooking and eating are the same thing. Obviously, it's not. One prepares the meal, the other one finishes it. Okay. And if you confuse the two, everyone ends up hungry and angry. So today I want to talk to you about one of the most common business mistakes that I see. Companies say they need marketing when actually they need the actual sale. Or they hire a salesperson and they expect the salesperson to be a strategist, a content creator, a social media manager, a graphic designer, a videographer, a brand consultant, a data analyst, an events planner, and somehow still close the deal by Friday. So that is not a job description. That is human trafficking with a laptop. So let's diagnose this properly. What is marketing actually? So marketing is about making your organization or yourself visible, appealing, relevant, and memorable to the right audience. Marketing gets the attention. Marketing shapes the perception. Marketing even builds the trust before that meeting happens. Marketing helps people say, okay, this company looks credible. This brand understands my problem. These people seem like they know what they're doing. That is marketing. Marketing is the reason someone takes your call. It's the reason someone clicks on your page. It's the reason someone walks into your showroom, attends your event, visits your booth, reads your email, or even bothers to reply a message. Marketing opens that door. Now, the difference, what is sales? Sales is what happens after the door opens. Sales is that conversation. Sales is the follow up. Sales is handling of objections. Sales is reading the room, reading the body language. Sales is timing. Can they pay? Sales is confidence. Sales is trust me even when under pressure. And sales is turning that interest into a commitment. You know where they sign on the dot? So sales is revenue. Marketing will say, here's why you should notice us. And sales will say, here's why you should buy from us. They're very different jobs. They're very different skill sets. And it's both a very different kind of headache. Because I've met so many brilliant marketers who cannot close a deal to save their life. And I've met brilliant salespeople who the idea of branding is using a big font and typing limited offer, like they're negotiating the whole country. Different people, different muscles. So the first question everybody should ask is not, or do we need marketing? The real question is, what are we trying to achieve? What is our problem? Because if you are not clear, you're already in trouble. Do you need more visibility? Do you need more leads? Do you want better quality leads? Do you want more footfall, more traffic in your stores? Do you want more appointments in your clinics? Do you want to shorten the time it takes for someone to trust you? Or do you want bigger deals? Do you want to improve your reputation so that your selling becomes easier? Those are different objectives, something that you have to decide. So, different objectives they require different people, different tools, different budgets. But some companies behave, we need more business. hire a marketing exec. And for what? To do what? You know, and to do it for whom? Where should we do it? Which channel? Social media, billboard? What's the budget, boss? And how do we know if we are getting the sale or not? How do we measure? You don't have any of that. It's just talk. And this is how companies end up disappointed because they hire vaguely. They don't know what they want. So when you hire vaguely, you plan vaguely, you spend vaguely, then you blame that marketing. That one, you're very specific. So who should you actually hire? That is the next question. Are you hiring someone to generate leads? Are you hiring someone to create content? Are you hiring someone to handle your social media? Or are you hiring someone to run paid ads? Or sometimes you're looking to hire someone to go out, meet people, build relationships, and close. So, are you hiring someone to plan events for your brand exposure? Or are you hiring one mystical creature who can do all that for 3,000 ringgit and also bring good energy to the office? That person doesn't exist, in case you didn't know. And if they do exist, they're probably already working for themselves, like me. So be honest. If your issue is that nobody is bringing in your prospects, maybe you need marketing. But if your issue is you have a lot of inquiries and nobody to follow up, then that's not marketing, that is sales. So if your issue is that people who meet you don't trust you, maybe it's your positioning. If your issue is that your team doesn't know how to communicate that value, maybe they need training. If your issue is that the management keeps changing direction every 3 days, then your biggest marketing problem may actually be an internal leadership chaos. So, and this happens a lot everywhere. You need to figure that out first. So, marketing is for leads. Then, what kind of leads? This is where people get excited very early. Someone say we got 500 leads that came from Facebook. Wonderful. But what kind of leads? Are they cold leads, hot leads, qualified leads, or just curious decision makers, or just busybodies? Are they buyers or people collecting free information like they got nothing else better to do? So, because leads, not everyone is useful. A lead is only valuable if it has the right fit, the right timing, the right budget, the right need, and the right level of seriousness. Otherwise, you're not generating quality leads. This is just generating a lot of admin work. So when people say marketing must bring leads, I agree, but I always ask, what kind of leads are you looking for? Is it just the cheap leads or the premium leads, the high volume leads, corporate leads? You want the walk-in customer leads, long-term client leads, repeat customers? Which one? All that is important. You have to know specifically who you're looking for because they're all buying for different reasons. If you don't define the kind of lead you want, you will attract attention and then complain the market is bad, the market is poor. The market may not be poor. Your targeting may be quite drunk all over the place. So, how does marketing make your organization more appealing? Now, this is the interesting part. Marketing is not just about ads. Marketing is about it's not even just about posting on social media. It's not about boosting a video because people said, oh, you must go on TikTok. Everything is TikTok now. You go on TikTok, you sure make money. Marketing is the overall impression your organization gives. So you ask yourself, is your offer clear? Is your website credible? Does your social media look alive? Or like it's still MCO era? And which is fine, you need to work on that. And then do your staff reply quickly to these leads? So this is what I mean when I say marketing makes your organization more appealing. People just don't buy products. They buy your confidence. They buy ease and convenience. They buy certainty. They buy that feeling that when you become A bit emotional, you appeal to them, it will appeal to a certain sense of what connects with them. And if you don't, this is where many organizations lose. They spend money trying to attract attention, but when that attention arrives, the company is still confusing, slow, inconsistent, quite hard to deal with. It's like inviting a guest to a hotel and then telling them the lobby under renovation, you come through the back, you know. So you have to figure out, do you need like a digital marketer, face to face guy? This is another question that companies answer badly. They ask, should we do digital marketing? I mean, really? So anyway, my answer is it depends. That's like asking, do you want to wear a jacket to go out today? It depends, right? If you're going to a wedding, then it's a yes. To a sauna, then up to you. So it depends on the business. It depends on the value of the sale. It depends on the level of trust you require. Also, the age and habits of the audience. It depends whether it's a quick decision to buy, or is it more emotional, or is it more calculated and careful, or complex, relationship driven. So some business you can close online, but some business digital is just to start, but you need that face to face meeting to build that confidence. So some industries are still very much on relationship, referrals, event, coffee meeting, site visit, that human trust. And for high value services, the premium ones, it's all face to face. Nobody is going to give you a six-figure contract because your Instagram you shot on a drone and had a nice music in the background, or at some point someone wants to look you in the eye and decide, are you competent or just beautifully edited for Photoshop? So you need to know who's your audience. You don't need to, not really what is trendy or what your competitors are doing. You have to see what would really work for this business. You have to think back and really understand that. Then after that, you have to plan based on all your research. What are the next steps? So every company wants results, but very few sit down and plan properly. So you need to ask, okay, what is the objective? Who's the target audience? What is our message to this target? What is the offer that is compelling to this target? Which channels are we going to use to reach this target? And who should do which part of all this? How fast will the leads be follow up after that? And what is the budget we can allocate for all of this? What is the timeline? And if it's going to be successful, what are the measurements when they start coming in? Because you haven't thought it through, then it's just an activity, but you don't know how to react. And activity is not progress. Every company is busy and making content and all kinds of stuff, attending meetings, designing campaigns, but it may not match to what the customer wants, or get them to trigger and a response. So it's no point being invisible or visible in the place where the buyer is not. That is not strategy at all. That is just expensive cardio. So your execution matters, and you can have a beautiful plan, but it will fail if nobody follows up. Nobody is measuring what is doing quickly and making changes. Nobody's taking ownership for mistakes, and everyone assumes the other person's doing it. So that's why some campaigns fail. It's not that the idea was bad, but the handover between marketing and sales was bad. So marketing will say, we brought the leads, for us it's a success. Sales will say the leads were useless. We can't convert them. And management will say, can both of you stop fighting in the chat group, please? So it is typical, right? I mean, I know you're nodding your head. So you got to define the process. Who qualifies the lead first? Who contacts them after that? How quickly is this process done? What is the script that your team is trained to say? What is the expected next step? How is this information recorded? Is it in the software? How do you know whether this lead became business? Does it go back to marketing as well so they understand? And if you cannot answer those questions, then your growth problem may not be a creative problem. It may be your processes to connect all the dots. So when it comes to budgeting for things like this, one of my take on it is just, you want to be optimistic or serious. Many companies decide that their marketing budget is like, uh, what can we spend actually? What can we let go to try? That's not budgeting. That's, whatever you're deciding emotionally. A real marketing budget should come from an objective. You want serious visibility. Is it KL only, nationwide? Penang, what kind of quality leads? How many events do we need to reach them? How long can we sustain? 1 month, 3 months, 1 year? Then you ask yourself, when we do this, how many channels are we using? TV, radio, social media, and how many of our competitors are doing this as well? So how often do we need to be seen? Is it every day? And how much trust do we need to build before people buy? And is it so many different types of content that we need to create? What is our sales cycle? How many leads do we need? Then we know our percentage to get a lead. One converted lead, what is the cost and what is the profit? Then you're starting to talk like adults, because it's not just about cost. This is an investment into an opportunity. So you got to ask yourself, is the budget adequate to cover all this? If your ambition is Mercedes, but your budget is second-hand bicycle, then there's a bit of a mismatch. And then people will say the marketing is not working. No, it's sometimes the budget was never enough to completely close the circuit. Sometimes the budget was enough, but was scattered in all the wrong places or channels by people who are not sure what to do. Many things can happen. One blind spot I think a lot of people don't look at is what the competitors are doing. Companies operate in isolation. They're not noticing and observing what's going around. So they have no idea what competitors are saying, spending, posting, sponsoring, hosting, pushing. They don't know. They just continue to do what they feel they should do. And then when they lose out, they're like very shocked. Like it's something new that happened. So you must study your competitors as well. Where are they visible? What channels are they active? Why are they trying to command that? How polished are they? What is their messaging? And how do they position themselves in the market? What kind of content are they producing? And how quickly are they making changes and offers? Who are their partners? And are all these generating trust in the market? All that matters. Talking to your customers will give you an idea about what your customers feel as well. You don't copy your competitor blindly. That's their strategy, and sometimes they may be confused. But someone can be loud but still confused and not effective. You have to really analyze and get a lot of market data to know who's really making money and who's not. Because some companies are everywhere and they can't close. For context sake, you need to know what they're doing. And where the market is crowded and where the market is weak, you have to know where this opening is. That is the opportunity for you to go in. When we talk about money, what is actually working for your business, not in theory, not for discussions and listening in a seminar, not in a LinkedIn post written by someone who's never sold anything in your category outside a workshop. In your business, you need to understand, where do your best deals come from? Was it referrals? Was it an event? Was it a speaking engagement that you really kicked ass and everyone came for? Or could it just be simple paid ads? And that is what you need to measure. Not just the inquiries, not just the impressions, not just the likes from people who would never buy back even if you offered free snacks. You got to measure where the best deals come from. Which source brings in the highest quality business? And which source brings in the repeat business? Which source brings the serious buyers? Which source brings in the fastest conversion? And which source gives you that rubbish leads and drains your team spirit over and over? That's the kind of measurement that makes you smarter, more focused, and decisive in your decisions. Once you know how all that works, then you're not doing things randomly. You are now quite a serious marketer. After you've gone through this process, the company cannot skip this part of it where they say, okay, our customer is everyone. That is usually the first sign that they don't understand their customer. They need to start thinking about what kind of people buy from us most often. Out of all these people, what do they have most in common? What's their mindset like? What is their lifestyle like? What is their role in their office, in their family? And what urgency do they have to buy? And what kind of budgets do they carry when they want to buy? What are their fears? What are their values? And what can make them trust us? Or what can make them delay in buying? And this industry alone, does it have a buying pattern? Is it seasonal or is it one-off? Because you need to understand the psychology of your buyer. Then your marketing improves, your sales language improves because of the timing of the words. Then your offers improve, your timing improves, your closing improves. If your best buyers are cautious and very research driven, then your content must be educational and reassure them of your product. If they're urgent and outcome driven, then your message must show speed, must be clear, must have the good value. If they're status driven, then your brand must look premium, must look credible. If they are price sensitive, then your sales process just has to show your value very quickly. So different buyers, different triggers. But in the same company, you must be clever enough to notice the difference. And the pain points, when mentioning pain points, this is where only a mature business will grow. Because sometimes the problem is not the market, the problem is you. As painful as it sounds, you are the problem. But the first step is to know that you are the problem. Then it's useful. Then ask, okay, are we slow in replying? Are we confusing? Is our pricing unclear? Are our proposals too long that it's confusing what to choose? Is our staff inconsistent? And do our customers chase us or we have to chase them? When they come to us, do we pass them around here and there? Do we sound knowledgeable or do we sound difficult to deal with? Do we make buying easy or exhausting? Many businesses think they have a lead generation issue. Actually, internally, it's a friction issue. People are interested, but when they deal with you, they're like, just, this is a put off. Then suddenly they disappear. They start passing that negative word around. And it's not that they're a bad customer, but the experience dealing with you is just so annoying. So that's why I always say marketing gets attention, but the operation and sales must deserve it to close it. So if your internal experience is poor, no amount of branding is going to save you. What's the real lesson that we can take back? Before you say we need marketing, just stop for a while. Diagnose the issue properly with your team and figure out, is this really a marketing problem or a sales problem, a positioning problem, a process problem, a people problem, our people or the customer, a budget problem, or an upskilling problem that we didn't pay attention to? Or is it a follow-up problem? Or maybe we just have a customer understanding problem. Once you ask better questions, you stop wasting your money on the wrong solution. And that's where a lot of companies go wrong, not understanding their customer. They tend to spend on tactics before they define their strategy very clearly. They hire people before they define what is the role that is required. They spend their money on all that advertising before they know the customer. And then they measure that activity and not the outcome itself. Then they act surprised when the growth is busy but not profitable. That's very normal and very unfortunate. But this is fixable, okay? And that's why I'm engaging in this topic and giving you all these details so that you don't have to read these tons of books or attend so many seminars. If you can separate your marketing and sales properly, then you're smarter than many organizations. So don't have that name card, marketing and sales. You must understand what each person is for. And the most important thing, just remember from now on today, go back and do this. Marketing is not sales. Marketing should make your business visible, relevant, appealing, and trusted. Sales must take that attention and convert to revenue. Both matter, both must work together. It requires different thinking, different systems, often different kinds of people. No problem. But the next time people say we need marketing, what exactly do you mean by need marketing? That itself, you define further, will save you a lot of time and money, and you won't waste time with unnecessary meetings or solutions. This is Acquire with Ashok. Remember, marketing is to bring people to the table. Sales is to give them a reason to buy. And don't confuse the two. See you in the next episode. Thank you.